Yeah. Okay, everybody. When I'm talking, I don't see me in the little window, but this is a DVMUG Zoom meeting, Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. So I don't have any news today. We just have videos. Only first one's kind of short, and the rest of them are kind of medium-ish. And we'll just go ahead and go with the first one here. This is the list and how long they are. This is an Apple one, a couple from Gary. They're all about the same length. And so I'll go with the first one. There we go. This is how to clean your Apple Watch. I don't have one, but it was interesting to me how you're supposed to clean the thing. Like, imagine it can get dirty on your arm. So here you go.
Here's how to clean your Apple Watch to get rid of dirt, lotion, and sunscreen, which might affect its performance. Before you start, you'll need a non-abrasive, lint-free cloth, and you should turn off your Apple Watch. You might also need lightly running, warm, fresh water. To turn off your Apple Watch, press and hold the side button until the sliders appear. Then tap the off button in the upper right corner of the screen and drag the power off slider to the right. Now take off your Apple Watch and remove your watch band if it's leather or if you don't want to get it wet. Next, wipe your Apple Watch clean with the lint-free cloth. If necessary, you can dampen the cloth with fresh water. If your Apple Watch has visible substances or debris on it, you can hold it under lightly running, warm, fresh water until it's clean. Don't use soap or cleaning products. Be sure to clean any lotion, sunscreen, or dirt from the back crystal. ECG and other readings might be impacted if the back crystal isn't clean. You should also turn and press the digital crown while cleaning to allow water to run over the small gap between the digital crown and the housing. For Apple Watch Series 10 and Apple Watch Series 11, you should also clean the speakers for optimal sound quality. These are on the side of your Apple Watch opposite the digital crown and side button, and you can clean them with a soft bristle brush. Hold your Apple Watch under lightly running, warm, fresh water, and lightly brush the speakers in a circular motion with gentle pressure in order to clean the ports and meshes from every angle. Continue cleaning the speakers for at least 30 seconds and up to a minute to ensure you've removed any debris that might be obstructing the speakers. When you're done cleaning your Apple Watch, dry it with a non-abrasive, lint-free cloth. Be sure to dry the surface of the back crystal. When drying the digital crown, be sure to remove water from its surface, the space between the digital crown and the watch case, and the surrounding surfaces. Once dry, you can put your band back on if you took it off, and put your Apple Watch back on. Then, turn on your Apple Watch. Just hold down the side button until the Apple logo appears. Next, you should clear any water from the speaker. To do this, press the side button to open Control Center and tap the Water Lock button. Then, press and hold the digital crown on the side of your Apple Watch until the display reads Unlocked. A series of tones plays to clear any water that remains in the speaker. If your audio was quiet or muffled before cleaning your Apple Watch, you can test it now to see if the audio quality has improved. Repeat the cleaning process if necessary. And that's how to clean your Apple Watch.
Interesting. Comments, questions? Anybody ever clean your Apple Watch like that? Nobody? Everybody clean your Apple Watch in any way at all?
Oh, I clean the bands, but I've never tried to clean the watch.
I used to just use a damp towel in the back, and where skin oil may get around the edge of the little cover, I just use a toothpick to clear that out, and then just a damp towel or damp cloth to clean it.
I can imagine the back that touches your skin could get grimy from you, sweating and stuff. If you use it to exercise and stuff, it could build up.
Yeah, I can. Sometimes I'll use just just lightly with alcohol, but I don't make a habit of that. 'Cause I don't want it to seep in there with any glues that may be there.
Not only surprising, interesting, but surprising that you can do that to the speakers.
Yeah, that's true. But no, I find just a damp cloth and a toothpick seem
Yeah, no,
well.
no cleaning solution at all, just water.
Speakers are actually designed for that because that way, if water gets into them when you're swimming or something,
Yeah, they're
that
waterproof.
sound gets it out.
Yeah, it pumps the speaker back and forth and pumps the water out.
The gurgle.
But just watching them put it under running water, it gives you the chills. Or gives me the
Yeah, well,
chills.
it's made for swimming. It's waterproof. You can swim with it. So it can go underwater. No problem.
Got an Ultra, you can take it to 150 feet.
Right.
That assumes you
Take
can
me
get
to
to 150
150
feet
feet.
yourself.
Yeah, I can't take me to 150 feet.
I've been there a couple of times.
Okay. I thought that was interesting. We'll move forward. From Gary, 10 tips for using the preview app on your iPhone. Now, this is new in iOS and iPadOS 26. The preview app had never existed before on the phone on the iPad. So it pretty much has all the capacity that it does on the computer, which is quite a lot.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Here are some tips for getting the most from the Preview app on your iPhone. So the Preview app is a new app in iOS 26 that allows you to view and work with PDFs and image files. In this video, let's look at some tips for using it with PDF files. So you can run the Preview app by itself and then open a file from inside it, or you can go to the Files app, and then when you find a PDF, by default, it will open it up in Preview. So I'm going to tap this PDF file here in the Files app, and it opens it up in Preview. So now that I'm in Preview, there's a lot of different things I can do with it. You can see tools here along the bottom. You could see a 3 dots button here with a menu of other things you can do. And you could do even more by tapping on the name of the file here. Let's start by looking at how you can highlight text in a PDF. So if you have a regular PDF, it's not an image that's embedded in a PDF. You can very easily select text just by tapping with your finger and then dragging along like that. Now I've got options in the menu here like copy. You can go over here to see more. One of those options on the first menu and here in the expanded menu is highlight. If you tap highlight, it will ask you to choose a color here. You've got 5 different colors, or you can underline or strike through the text. I'll choose this purple color here, and now I've got this text highlighted in purple. And you can then continue to select other text, highlight, and it will use the last color that you selected, but you could easily change it like that. Now, often we get PDFs that are actually forms we need to fill out. So I'm going to open up this PDF file here. That's a form that I could fill out. When you're in a form like this, as long as the creator of it built it as a form, you can use the form filling mode with this button here. Sometimes you run into PDFs that were just created as printed documents. They don't have the little fields in it that you could fill out. But this one does, and you could see here in blue the little areas I could fill in. So I could tap on one, like here, my last name, and you could see it even asks if I want to autofill that information here, like that. I'll tap on this one, and I could autofill as well. But I could also just type here, like that, to fill in the form. You could exit form filling mode at any time with that same button here. And you can go through all the different fields, easily entering in the different information or using autofill in different situations. Now, if there's some part of the form you need to fill out and it doesn't have a blue box, that means the creator of the PDF didn't create that part of it properly. but you can add your own text overlay on top of that anytime you want. Just tap the little plus button there and use Add Text Form Box. And this will create your own box that you can position anywhere you want in the form and then fill in your own text. In addition to that, you can also sign forms. So you can see here is a spot for a signature. When you're in form filling mode, tap the plus button and you'll see Add Signature. If you haven't created a signature before, it'll ask you to do one now. So I'm going to just create a quick signature like that and then tap the check mark there and it will place it here. And I could drag it around, position it where I want, and resize it like that. I can tap the pen button there and make a different color if I like. I can even increase the thickness of the line like that. Once you've added a signature, you can tap the button here, choose Add Signature, and then you could choose that existing signature or add a new one. So for instance, you may want to have your regular signature and then one that's just your initials for times where it just asks for initials. Now, in addition to form filling mode, you could also use markup mode, which is the button next to it. And now you have a variety of different pens you could draw with. So for instance, you can tap any pen to select it. I'll tap this first one, tap a second time, and you've got options like thickness and how opaque the ink is. You also can tap this button here and then change the color like that. So now you could just draw on the PDF form. Markup mode also has a ton of other tools. You can tap the plus button. You can add stickers. You can add more text. You can add shapes, all sorts of different things. Its primary purpose is when you get a PDF that somebody wants you to review and you can kind of mark it up with corrections and suggestions. Another tip here is if you use any pen to draw and you pause at the end of drawing a shape before releasing, it will draw a perfect shape. For instance, if I want to draw a rectangle, I can draw it and you can see how imperfect this is. But if I wait here at the end, pause, and then release, it changes it to a perfect shape. Same thing with circles and ovals like this. It'll make them perfect. You can even do arrows like this, pause at the end, and now you get a perfect arrow. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MacMost at Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. A lot of times we get long PDF documents and we need to search for text in them. You can easily search with the little search button there at the bottom. You could type the text you want to search for and it will find it, tell you how many there are, and then you've got these arrows where you can go back and forth in the document looking at each match. You can also tap to the left here and you can select a search only for whole words and whether or not you match case. And you can also scan documents directly into Preview. To do that, launch Preview and then use the Scan Documents button and then position your phone over the page and it should automatically capture things. Then tap the check mark button there and it'll create a PDF with that scan in there. Once you've done that, you've got all sorts of tools available, including here under the three dots button, the ability to rotate left or rotate right if you scanned it in the wrong orientation. You can also crop, which is a great thing to do once you've scanned, but also works in other PDFs as well. Use the cropping tool there. It will allow you to select a part of the document. So if you only needed, say, this part here, you can select just that part and then tap in the middle of it. And you have the ability to copy that section or crop it. And now you've cropped your PDF just to the portion you want. Now, let's say you've got a PDF document here and you want to lock it. So perhaps you could send it to somebody else and they can only open it with a password. The way to do that is tap on the name here. And you've got lots of tools here like being able to move or rename the file. One of them here at the top is lock. And now you can set it to require a password and set and verify that password. That PDF will now be locked. And if you send it to somebody over messages or mail, they will need the password as well to open it. If you ever need to convert a PDF file to an image, you can do that by simply going here to the name and there's an export feature. So this works really well if you've scanned something in and now you want to make it a smaller file size. The PDF may be pretty large. You could see here it's 1 meg. But if I say I just want this as a JPEG and I'm going to compress it a lot by moving the slider over here to make it even smaller, then I can export this as a JPEG image. And now I can see here the PDF was 1 meg, but this JPEG image was a fraction of that. And if I tap to view it here, you could see the quality is not too bad. So I was able to get a much smaller file size while still maintaining the quality of the scan. It's just a plain JPEG image now instead of a JPEG inside of a PDF. When viewing a multi-page PDF, you could swipe slightly from the left like that to reveal thumbnails, and you can jump easily through the document. You could also tap on the little button in the middle of a thumbnail and you can rotate each page if it needs to be. You could also insert more pages from another PDF file, a blank page, or scan more pages into a document. You could also rearrange the pages if you want by dragging and dropping to change the order. Another option in the menu here is to delete a page. Really useful for when you get those PDFs that have tons of extra information at the end and you really only need the first few pages. You can delete those extra ones. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.
Comments, questions?
That was good. Thanks.
I have a question. Are some of those also available in the preview on the Mac?
All of them.
All of them are.
It's pretty much the same app as far as I know.
Okay.
Preview is an incredibly powerful program. You think it's just, most of the times you're just going to click on it, opens a PDF so you can view it or print it, or you can open a picture or something, but it can do a lot of stuff.
Okay. I've started to use it, but I didn't know that it had these features, so I haven't tried to use them.
I always use it. It's great.
If you have a lot of time, in the old days, we used to use Acrobat Reader and get it from Adobe Reader. Yeah. If you have that, get rid of it. It's a security risk. People could send you malicious PDFs. It needs to be upgraded all the time. It's a problem, so you don't need it. So if you have it, I suggest you get the free program App Cleaner.
Okay.
And use that to get rid of it, because it installs a bunch of other junk Adobe typically puts in your computer, and get rid of. And if you get rid of Adobe Reader, if you were using it before when you were double clicking on PDFs and it was opening that, you get rid of it, it will just automatically switch to preview. It will just, you won't have to do anything.
Okay, automatically. Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, good. Anybody else? Comments, questions? Okay, we'll go for the next one. Okay, this one is from Gary. How to replace or blur background of a photo on your iPhone. Okay, there we go.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Let me show you how to remove, replace, or blur backgrounds in photos on your iPhone. Now let's say you've got a photo in the Photos app on your iPhone. And let's say I just want to have the subject. I want to remove this background. It's actually extremely easy to do this. All you need to do is tap and hold on the photo like this, and you'll see that little animation there where it selects the subject. It helps if the subject is clearly defined and different colors than the background, like here. Then you get a menu here of various items. We're going to use Share here, and then I'm just simply going to tap the Save Image button. What this will do then is save this as a new photo with just the subject and the background removed. If I go back to my library, I can see it right here. And there's my subject with no background at all. It's not a white background. There's nothing there. And if I tap to view the photo like that, you can see it actually changes the background to black. So I can now share this photo any way I want, and only the subject will be included. It'll be a transparent background. This includes using it in other apps where you want transparency, like maybe using this in a Pages document with simply no background behind the subject. But note, I could have also selected copy, and that would simply copy the subject to the clipboard. I could then go to another app, like for instance, here in the Messages app, I can tap here and paste, and you can see how I get the subject with no background. You can paste into Mail, Pages, just about anything else that will use a transparent image like this. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MacMost at Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. Now let's say instead I want to replace the background with something else. So keep the subject, but a different background. Or another way to look at it is to take a subject and put them in a different location. So you can do that by tapping and holding like before and choosing copy. And this copies just the subject to the clipboard. Now let's go find another image to put the subject in. Let's choose this one right here. Now I can't paste another layer on top of this photo in the Photos app, but I can do it in the new Preview app. So what I want to do here is tap the share button at the bottom left and select Preview. If you don't see Preview here, you can move over to the right, tap More, and you'll find it there, and can even add it to this list if you like. I'm going to go to Preview here, and it's going to open up that photo in Preview. Now that I'm in Preview, I can paste another layer on top of this. The trick is to first enter markup mode by tapping this button there at the bottom left. Then once in markup mode, you need to tap the selection pencil here. With the selection pencil selected, you can now tap in the middle of the photo, and if you have an image in the clipboard, you'll get paste. You can now paste the image there. It'll ask if you want to allow this. I'll say, of course, yes. And there we go. There's Jack now in this photo. I can position Jack and resize him like this, and then turn off the markup tools like that. And there's Jack in this photo. Now you've got this here as a file. You could tap here and you can move it or rename it. It's probably saved in your Preview folder inside of iCloud Drive. But if you want to add it back to your Photos library, you can just tap the share button here, and then you'll find Save Image there as well. Now back in Photos, I can take a look and I could find that photo right next to the original one because it retains the same date as the original. Now let's say you want to blur the background instead of removing it. You may want to do this to help the subject stand out better, or maybe the background isn't important, or maybe there are other people back there and you kind of want to blur out the whole scene. You can do this a couple of ways. So if the photo has a portrait mode, you would see portrait up here, and sometimes you may have it turned off or you can turn it on. This could be because you took the photo with portrait mode on your iPhone. Also, often portrait mode is used automatically to save information about the subject and the background in a photo. So even if you just took a regular photo, you may still find you have the ability to switch to portrait mode here. Now just go to your adjustment tools, select portrait here at the bottom, and then look to see if the subject is blurry. If the subject's blurry, it may be because this yellow box is focusing on another portion of the photo. So all you need to do is just tap on the subject, and now the subject should be in sharp focus. Then you can use the slider here to adjust the background. You can make the background sharp as well, but you can go all the way to the other side to make the background blurry. And that's a really quick, simple way to blur the background if it's available for that photo. However, if you don't have portrait mode available for a photo like this one here, you can still do it using some tricks. For instance, you can do it with the Preview app. We're going to go and copy the subject just like we did before, and copy. And then we're going to share the entire photo to Preview. So now we've got the whole thing in Preview. We want to blur everything and then paste the subject right over where he is right now. Unfortunately, there's no tool for blurring the background in Preview. You can do it in other image editing apps on your iPhone. But if we just want to stick with Preview, then one way to do that is to tap on the three dots button here and go to Adjust Size. Now this photo here is about 4,000 pixels wide. I'm going to shrink it down so far that it becomes blurry. I'm going to select the size here, and then I'm going to go to something much smaller, like let's say 100 pixels. And that is going to compress the image so much from 4,000 pixels across to only 100 pixels across that you could see there's not much detail left in the photo. In other words, it's blurry. Now, if I were to paste Jack in again here, Jack would be just as blurry because there's only 100 pixels across to work with. So I want to go back in here and adjust size again. And then I want to go back to the original size. And it's not going to add any information back in. It's taking those 100 pixels and it is stretching them now across the 4,000 pixels. So now when I go to the markup tools, I make sure the selection tool is selected there. And I tap in the middle and paste. I can paste in Jack at full resolution because we've got all the pixels here that we need. And I can stretch him to go across. It's a little tricky to get him to match exactly, or at least cover the blurrier version of himself there. But now you can see I've got the original Jack and I've got the compressed and then uncompressed blurry version of the rest of the photo behind him. So I'll exit the markup tools. I will share, and I'm going to save this back to Photos. And then in the Photos app, I've got the original version, and then I've got this version with the blurry background. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.
Okay, comments, questions?
I just wonder how he finds time to sleep with his depth of knowledge and making the videos.
I know. He makes one of these every day, every weekday. He makes 5 a week. And
All
they're
the time he spends to learn this stuff.
plus, he makes all his tutorials. If you go to his page and you subscribe and pay, then he gets classes like they're half an hour. I don't know how often he does those, but those gotta take a long time. Yeah. Anybody ever watched any of his classes? Anybody subscribe to MacMost and watch the classes? Or he does some videos that are exclusive. They're not public. You have to pay to be a member, and then you get them. So he previews those. He put. Yeah, go ahead. You were going to do that, right, Jan? Or you were thinking
Right,
about
and they would only accept a ongoing subscription, not a yearly amount. I don't want to pay it once a month.
Yeah.
So
It's a monthly subscription or something.
Yeah.
I think Peter does that. I don't think Peter's here, is he?
I did it for a month and I stopped it. It was just too much. Too much stuff.
I'll bet.
Yeah. I cherry pick what I think are the best ones and put them on the MailChimp, or put them give them to the list, which I give to all the presenter every week, and they can pick which ones they want. But I never put anything over 10 minutes. Some of them he does are longer. They're 15 minutes or even 20 minutes. Now, I'll put those in the MailChimp and you decide whether you want to watch them. Or if they're not general interest, they're he does ones on numbers and Excel and complicated Excel format, numbers formatting and stuff. He does all kinds of crazy stuff.
You know, I watched one of his classes on QuickTime.
I saw that was public, yeah.
And it was real detailed and actually showed me stuff I had no idea about QuickTime.
QuickTime Player is it's a very powerful little program that you can edit stuff with very quickly.
Yeah, and it's once you understand what's happening, and it's like, you got to be kidding me. This easy? I can delete, I can move, I can add, I can subtract. No.
Yeah, I have to do that every once in a while when I forget. YouTube lets us share the Apple support videos, which you see we use on here, like the Apple Clean Your Watch. But the promotional ones, like the TV commercials they post, if you post those, they'll ban your whole video. And then YouTube will say, What do you want to do? Edit the sound, delete that portion. They'll delete it for you. But one week we put a whole bunch of those, like 30 minutes of them. There was all these edits and stuff. I let them do it, and they came back and they said, "Nah, you're banned. We're not going to."
Nope.
So we lost. I had to go back and manually chop them out in all the little sections and lost like half an hour. Alrighty then. Any other comments, questions? There used to be, back in the day, there was QuickTime Player Pro, which you paid one-time license for. It wasn't very expensive, and it had even more tools than the current QuickTime Player. You had all kinds of codecs and all kinds of saving features. You could do all kinds of stuff in it. And then when they went to 32-bit to 64-bit, they made a new QuickTime Player, which they gave you some of the stuff that you had to pay for in the Pro version, but not all of it. And so you actually lost some features, but it's free. It's built into your computer. It's there. Everybody has it. Okay. Questions, comments? Move on. Let's go. Okay, this is from Dan. Dan is pretty good. I like Dan. He's going to explain to us how to use AirDrop specifically. Oh, that's a typo there. I didn't notice that. Specifically on the iPad. Okay, here we go.
In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can share files via AirDrop. AirDrop is a convenient way to send a file to another Apple device. Let's see how easy it is to share files with AirDrop. But before we get started, if you like what you see here, stick around to the end. I'll tell you a little bit more about myself and how you can help support my efforts in creating these videos. All right, let's go over to my iPad and check out how we share files with AirDrop. Now, the way that I'm going to demonstrate this is by sharing a file through the Files app. But we could also share a photo with the Photos app. Any app that we have files that we can share, we basically can use AirDrop. So now what I'm going to do is open up the Files app. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to this file here. This is a Pages file. What I would like to do is I would like to share this with my iPhone. So how can I do that? Well, basically what I need to do is I need to long press on it to get the share icon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to long press on it. And then you're going to see the share icon. This is what we're looking for. So if you're not using the Files app, if you're in Photos or another app, this is what we're looking for, the share icon. When I tap on that, you're going to see the option to AirDrop. I tap on AirDrop, and then any devices that are nearby that you can AirDrop to are going to show up. So in my case here, here's my iPhone. I can AirDrop it over to my iPhone. Or what I can do is I can AirDrop it over to my Mac. Why is this being separated out? Well, this is on the same account. That's why it says My Devices. Where this one here is not on the same account, but being that we are in each other's contacts, more on that in a little bit, I can share it with my Mac. So basically, let's go ahead and share it with my iPhone. So I tap on the iPhone here. And when I do, what it's going to do is it's going to transfer it over to my iPhone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to my iPhone. So I tap on my iPhone here, and then we're going to go over to my iPhone and watch what happens here. There's the file, and it opened up in Pages. So basically, it just transferred that file over to my iPhone. That's basically all you have to do. Now, there are a few settings for this. Let's go back over to my iPad. There are a few settings for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swipe up, and then what we need to do is we need to go over here to Settings. I tap on it, and then what we need to do is we need to go over here to General. I tap on General, and then we go over here to AirDrop. When I tap on AirDrop, basically what I can do is I can set if I want to receive files via AirDrop, and if I do I want them from contacts only, or do I want it from anyone? When I put it to everyone for 10 minutes, anybody that is near me, they don't have to be in my contacts, anybody that is near me is going to be able to send files over to my iPad. That's why it is set for 10 minutes only. You used to be able to leave this on all the time, but it's not a very secure way of setting up AirDrop. Basically, anybody's going to be able to AirDrop a file to you. So what Apple did is they changed it to everyone for 10 minutes. So then after 10 minutes, When you turn that on, it'll turn off. So if you don't want to receive files, you tap on receiving off. And then if an iPhone or iPad or Mac wants to share files with your iPad here, they are not going to be able to see your iPad. So if I had my iPhone here, I have this turned off now, and when I go back over to my iPhone, and let's say I wanted to share this file, I tap on share here, and being that I have receiving off, when I go to AirDrop, you're not going to see my iPad there. You're going to see the Mac, but you're not going to see the iPad. When I go back to my iPad and I set it to contacts only, and I go back over to my iPhone, you're going to see that my iPad shows up here. That is because I am in the contacts on both of these devices. Basically, what you'll be able to do is share files with anyone that is in your contacts. If they're not in your contacts and you don't want to add them as your contact, then what you can do, go back over to my iPad, then what you do is you set it for everyone for 10 minutes. You'll be able to share files with the iPad temporarily for 10 minutes, and then it'll turn off automatically. So if you don't want to add someone to your contacts, you just need that file, this is how you can do that. So that's how we work with AirDrop, or how we share files with AirDrop on the iPad. Now there's one catch to all of this. You do have to be nearby. I'm not going to be able to use AirDrop with someone that is across the city or across the state or across the country. They do have to be nearby. So that's how we share files with AirDrop on the iPad. Basically, all we have to do is just tap on the share icon with the file that we want to share. It could be a photo, it could be in the Files app, it could be in any app that works with files. And then once we tap on the share icon, you're going to see AirDrop. And if that person is set up for receiving AirDrop files and they're in your contacts, you're going to be able to share them with it. If they're not in your contacts, then what you'll need to do, or what they will need to do, is set it up for everyone for 10 minutes. So basically, that's how we share files on the iPad. This is something that I do on a regular basis. I'll take a screenshot on my iPad, and then what I'll do is I'll share it with my Mac so that I can create the thumbnail. Very easy to do when we use AirDrop. So that's how we share files with AirDrop on the iPad. Now, if you found this video helpful, what you may want to do is like the video. You can subscribe to my channel. You can share it with your friends and family. In addition to that, I also have a couple more options if you want to help support my efforts in creating these videos. I have danstutorials.com as well as dansonlinecourses.com. With danstutorials.com, it's a membership-based site, and not only do I have more videos there, but I also have an AI assistant modeled after an Apple Genius. When you become a member, what I'll do for you is I'll take out all of the ads from the videos, and you have access to that AI assistant. If you don't like memberships, which is basically a subscription, if you don't like subscriptions, I also have dansonlinecourses.com. On this site, I have courses. As of this recording, I only have one for the iPhone, but I'm creating one for the iPad, which will include this video, and then eventually I'm going to also create one for the Mac. When you purchase the course, it's a one-time purchase, and you get all the videos for that course, so it is not a subscription. With either one of these, just know that you are helping support a small business. It is just me in a corner office of my house. I'm not part of some large organization. So when you become a member or purchase a course, you are directly affecting or directly supporting my efforts in creating these videos. Check out danstutorials.com or dansonlinecourses.com for more information, and thanks for watching.
Okay, comments, questions?
He has a good style.
He's a good presenter. He actually runs the Apple University user group, which meets monthly, and all over the world, though there's about 25 of them who show up for an hour. And he runs that now since the original guy passed away last year.
Did you see his background?
Yeah.
He's got a clamshell on.
Yeah, he does the same.
That's cool.
Jason Snell does the same thing on Mac Break. He has a Mac SE and in the back, and they all of Jason's work. They're functional. I don't know about his, but yeah, but it's nice if people have a little background going on.
Yeah,
interesting.
Nice.
Comments, questions? Move on.
If you do it again, that typo in the front page. Never mind.
Okay, let's see what's next. This is Ellen. I think this may be the last one. This is about the iPhone medical ID. This how you need to set this up. We may have done this before, but Ellen may have a different take on it. So this is kind of important to do. I knew about it and I forgot about it until at the iOS boot camp, Mike went over how to do this, and I realized you can put this in your medical information, but it doesn't automatically go to your lock screen for first responder. You have to, which I was disappointed. So you have to manually enter that. So you have to put it in two different places. Okay, here we go.
Hi everyone, Ellen from Ellen's Tips for iOS. Today I'm sharing one of the most important safety features on the iPhone, something every senior should set up. It's called Medical ID, and it lets first responders see your critical health information right from your lock screen in an emergency. This is quick, easy, and could truly save your life. Let's get started. Your iPhone can store important medical info like allergies, medications, conditions, and emergency contacts. If you're ever in an accident or can't speak for yourself, this information becomes visible from your lock screen, even if your phone is passcode protected. For seniors or anyone living alone, this provides peace of mind. Let's begin with a step-by-step walkthrough of the Health app and how to add your medical ID information. You'll want to open up the Health app, which is the one with the little red heart. If you don't see it in your app library or on your home screen, just tap where it says App Library and begin typing in Health. The app will appear. Tap on it to open. Once we've tapped on it to open, I'm going to tap on my profile picture in the upper right corner, and that's going to bring me into the detailed area of my health features. I'm going to tap on where it says Medical ID, and then this is where you'll create your emergency card. If you've never done this before, you may see something that says Get Started, and it will walk you through entering all your information. If you've already done that or you have some information entered, you can use the Edit buttons to add information, remove information. So if it's the first time, you're going to tap Get Started. If it's not, you'll tap on Edit. And now you can add details that could help save your life. So I'm going to scroll up a little bit more so that you can see it. And you'll scroll through these particular areas. You'll scroll through medications, allergies, emergency contacts, your condition, and then you'll see things like additional information like height, weight, blood type, and you can even add notes if you want to. So you want to list anything that you want the medical staff to know. So if you take daily medications, you want to add them. So if I tap on Edit, I have a new medication I can add. I tapped into that area. I'm going to tap on the shift and I'm going to enter the medication that I'm taking now, Celebrex, and I can enter the amount of milligrams that I take. When I'm finished, I can go ahead and tap on the blue check mark in the upper right corner, and now that medication has been added to my medication list. So you also have the option to add medical conditions. So you want to go ahead and edit those or fill them out. Whatever you need to add in this information, that's what you want to do. Go through and edit or update your emergency contacts, your allergies, and anything else that's important for your medical responders to see. Now I'm going to scroll back to the very top, and this is probably the most important switch that you should turn on. The Show When Locked switch. Turning this on allows first responders to see your information from the lock screen. So even when your screen is locked, the first responders will be able to access your medical ID. There's also a toggle switch below this that says Share during an emergency call. This optional setting automatically shares your medical ID with 911 during an emergency call. I recommend turning it on for added safety. Here's how emergency responders would access your medical ID. So they would be doing it from your locked screen. So I'm going to turn the power off to my screen. You may not see that. And then I'm going to swipe up, and you'll see that because my face is not recognized, I've turned the iPhone away from me. So if you want to do this, make sure that you turn your iPhone away from you. And when you do, you'll see the emergency access in the lower right corner. Because if you immediately get into your iPhone, you won't have access to that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tap on emergency in the lower left corner, and then you'll see the option for medical ID. I'll tap on that, and now emergency responders will see your medical information and can call your emergency contacts right from inside of your medical ID option. As someone who works with seniors every day and is a former respiratory therapist, this feature gives tremendous peace of mind. If you take medications, have chronic conditions, or live alone, having this set up means that no matter what, your information is accessible when it matters most. Here's a bonus tip. Be sure to update your medical ID when you change medication, switch doctors, or update emergency contacts. A quick edit once or twice a year is enough. And what you may want to do to remind you of that is come into the Reminders app and then go ahead and set a reminder that repeats every 6 months so that you know to update your medical ID at least twice a year, or at least just take a look at it. Take a few minutes today to set this up for yourself and maybe help a spouse or friend set theirs up too. It's one of the easiest ways to improve your safety with the device you already use every day. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Okay, comments, questions?
Good idea.
Yeah,
Well, that
absolutely.
saved my bacon in a German hospital.
Yep.
They asked me if I had an iPhone, and I said yes. And they said, let's see it. And I showed it to him. He hit emergency contact, says, ach, gut, and had all my history. Of course, I had taken time out to put it in.
Yeah, what I didn't realize, and I'm looking for it on my phone.
Yeah.
I put in the your medication reminders that reminds you. I forget where you put that in to track it, but I had all that in there that doesn't automatically go to your medical ID. You got to like enter it a second time. I'm even trying to remember where I put that. Anybody remember where you do that? Your medication reminders?
What's the app? Because I don't have it on the SE.
Okay, she was talking about the health app for your medical ID.
With the heart, right? Yeah, and I typed it in the library,
Yeah.
but it didn't come up. And I can't find it on apps.
Go to the last page.
Yeah, and type it in. App library.
And just search for
It's called health.
Yeah, it's not coming up. It says no results, and I'm at 26.1. I think maybe it's a 23, or I mean, SE limitation, right?
No.
No, it's in every system.
Yeah,
You
it's
may have
part of
deleted
the
it.
software.
Go
You
to
may
the
need to
app
reinstall
library.
it.
If you go to the
Okay.
app library and you type health, you don't see it?
Nope, it says no results for health. Check the
And go to
spelling.
the app store and re-download it. It didn't used to be in the old days, you couldn't delete the Apple apps, but now you can, but not all of them. But you
Yeah.
know, it's in the App Store if you delete it.
Doesn't come up.
Go to the App Store.
I did. I'm in the apps. It's just saying it's like nothing. I mean, there's health diary,
Okay.
healthy Nook. Now
We're talking about two different things. There's the app library, which is the stuff on your computer. If you don't find it on your computer, go to the App Store where you download the apps from Apple.
Search suggestion, right?
Okay, it's called Apple Health in the App
Apple
Store.
Health. Thank
Not
you.
Health, Apple Health.
Thank you. That could be it.
I don't remember where you put in your medication reminders, but I have those too. And I had all my medications in there, but that doesn't automatically set up your medical ID.
Yeah, that worked well, thanks. Okay, I'll work on it. Thanks.
I don't remember where you put your medication reminders.
I'm also on reminders. How do you set the time for every 6 months? I forgot that. Is that a hard question?
It's how many days?
Okay, I'll look. Thank you.
90 days.
Yeah.
To find it, when you get into the health app, tap on your little icon on the upper right. You'll come up with
under the health app?
under the health app.
I thought it was under reminders. Or both.
No, I'm talking about the health app with all your vitals.
Is that what she did? Oh, I thought she said
health
under
details.
Okay. Thank you. I'll work on it. Thanks.
Yeah, under medical ID is where you put in all your medications, allergies, it's emergency contacts.
Yeah, I'll rewatch the Zoom presentation. Thanks.
I still don't remember, can't remember where I put them in.
Well, you might look in notes.
Under
John.
medications.
I put mine in notes one time.
No, there's an app. You can do it within the Apple system but I don't remember where you did it.
Well, go to the health app.
It's in the health app under medications.
Okay.
You go to the health app, let's go to summary, and then your little icon in the upper right corner. Tap on that, and then you come up with medical ID, and that's where all your entries should be.
Medical ID is separate from your
Right.
medication reminders, right?
Right.
That's separate.
Yes. The other one is called medications.
Right. It's stupid that you have to put them in twice.
You could always just remember them.
So I'm in edit my medical ID, and then
No. Go back to browse and just go to medications.
I'm looking for it.
Scroll down from show when locked. Scroll down from there.
I don't see it.
There's even pregnancy in there, but I left that blank.
I still don't see it.
I would hope
You
so.
just open the health app, click on browse on the bottom right, and then you get an alphabetical list. Click on medications.
Is the browse the little magnifying glass?
No, it's the four.
Yes, it might be in past versions.
Oh, it is. No, I'm in 26. Okay, there it is.
That's where you set it up.
It's in you set up now. It's in the health, and then you go to medications, and then there's where you put in your medications and the time that are reminders, and it bugs you if you don't take them. It has a little picture of what the thing looks like and all that stuff. But after you fill that out, that doesn't transfer to your medical ID, unfortunately. Why they don't do that, I don't know.
Your medical ID, go into the browse section, and to the right of that is your personal icon. Tap on that, and you'll get the options for medical ID and health details. tap on medical ID, and then you've got the list of photo and information, pregnancy, medications, allergies, emergency contacts, conditions, additional, and notes.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
I'd say put it in notes.
No, you need to have those first responders. They need to be in your medical ID so they
Right.
can get it.
Yeah, but in medical ID, put your medications in notes. Then you'll have an easier time editing it.
No, it's easy to edit it. It's got an edit option when you go to the list.
I don't know if you put it in the notes that first responders can see your notes, can you?
No, it has to go in medical.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, it's easy to edit. There's an edit button under each of the categories, pregnancy, medications, allergies. The right of each of the headings is edit.
Well, I've made sure in mine at the very top of what you put in notes shows right after the emergency fire department
Okay.
number. I have a critical message for medical responders that I need right at the top where they can see it.
Can I interrupt for a second, please? And how do you do that, Bill? Because she was on her home screen to get the information that they would get when you have a lock screen. Did she something about there was on the lower left, or she activated something? I don't remember.
It says emergency contact.
It
And you
should say
can't
tap.
see it. You cannot see that when your phone is running.
Right.
It has to be turned off.
Just actually
you tap
off.
emergency contact. Yes.
Right.
The way you do emergency contacts is in the contacts app, say your sister is in one of your contacts, there's a button to click to make her an emergency contact. Then it automatically shows in your medical ID.
Right, right. Yeah, no, what the first responders would see. I thought that was, we can't see that. What they would see.
And they can make a call. The phone number is tappable even if the phone is locked. They can pick you up when you're unconscious and call your emergency contact.
But to get all your medical
no, your medical, if you fill this out correctly, your medical ID, your prescriptions and your health issues that you put in your medical ID will show up. They can see that. And they see your emergency contacts with clickable phone numbers, all when the lock screen is on, so they don't have to get into your phone. They're trained to do that, even if you're unconscious. They look for your phone, they tap the little thing, and boom, they get that information.
And what it says on the screen in the lower left is emergency. That's what they tap on. The word is emergency.
Right.
Okay. Thanks.
But like somebody said in not this video or another one, so if you travel with your significant other and you're in a car crash and your emergency contact is the person sitting in the other seat who's unconscious, calling them ain't going to do no good.
Yeah. Also, one very important
Put somebody
thing,
else in there that you don't know, some distant person you don't normally travel with.
a very important thing is to put your photo in there so that when they pick up the phone amongst all the corpses and stuff on the ground, they know which phone goes with which body.
Exactly. And they will call the phone numbers in the order that you put emergency contacts in there. So if I have my brother, my sister, and other person, 3 people that would normally not travel with me together, they will call them in that order.
You should also put your doctor's phone number in there.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. You can emergency contacts couldn't get through to my Kaiser any better than I could.
Right.
A good idea, though, I think.
Well, I have John Muir, and they can just get into my John Muir record, but my records, at great effort, I reconstructed back to 1937.
Whoa.
And it's all there.
Whoa.
37? How old are you?
Yeah, 91.
Jeez, good for you.
But I had an appendectomy at age 3 in 1937.
Okay.
It's like a
Oh.
Jiminy Christmas. Well, we're glad you're here.
I don't think you're 91.
Okay. Any more? I think that may be the last video. Yeah.
Yeah.
So any more discussion we have about anything we watched? Otherwise, we could just go to Q&A, general Q&A. You can ask questions about other things. Anybody else? So anybody watching this on YouTube, which would be DVMUG members, can get the link to the next recording with general Q&A. That link will be on the BBS. It's just not public. So we'll stop this one. And I'll say stop recording. Stop this recording.